Hey guys, are you like me and you woke up this morning to find out that your fleets are not exactly the way that you left them last night? Yeah, I was pretty mad about that when I woke up. I bet a lot of you guys are too. Some of you may still be mad about that. That being said, do not panic, okay? Top Gear actually did a great workup that he posted in his thread on the forum about the XP changes to a lot of the weapons in the game. Top Gear does some great work. If you guys get on there and anyone who's been playing Vega Conflict for a minute has used the fleet calc before, he definitely knows what he is doing, and I can't thank him enough for that work that he does. I think he's an integral part of the community. So it's awesome that we have him around to do that speedy work like that and get those out there before a lot of us even start thinking about that. Yeah, all of these fleets that are hovering around level 55 were below 55 last night. So this fleet was actually a 54. This was a 51. I was rocking a 53 out of these frigates. This is actually 64. So there's a few weapons that lost value, a few weapons that... there's more weapons that lost experience points than gained. However, the weapons that gained experience points are the top end value weapons. So Nova Rays, any infernal weapons gained over double their experience points of what they had before. Infernal Gatling Rays, for example, which is what I actually had on these, they gained a lot, enough to where 10 Infernal Gatling Rays, the experience points changed, and my fleet went up four levels. Reverb Rays is what I run on my Covenants or Corinthians. Sorry if anyone's ever seen me run these Corinthians. You'll see I like to run Reverb Rays. Well, now they actually have a crap load of experience points, which I personally think is a little excessive. I don't think that they needed to go that far with the Reverb Ray. It's really not nearly as good as some of the other weapons now that's at its level. But that's the way that they wanted to go with it. So honestly, I'm of the mindset that Reverb and Aurora aren't that far apart from each other in terms of usefulness. They both have their own place and time. But in terms of versatility, I think they're both pretty versatile. I think Aurora might be a little more versatile than Reverb, but Reverb has the less mass, whatever. But yeah, so a lot of weapons changed. Vector torpedoes lost experience points, so there's that. As far as squadrons go, I haven't actually seen anything that says that squadrons gained or lost any experience points. So they were technically a weapon that didn't get really touched, it looks like. None of the Xeno weapons did either. A few other weapons remained untouched, but yeah, for the most part, that's how it went. I think pretty much anything they released in the last 3 months, they didn't really touch. Or at least they didn't get touched up with the last update where they nerfed the Xeno experience points and gave them a crap load more experience. So yeah, and then in terms of base, if you're like me and I'm on Steam right now, you won't be able to see it. If you look at the browser client, currently, I heard someone say that the droid is updated too, but browser is definitely up to date. You'll have the option to fit 3 guns, some squadrons, just a bunch more stuff to your bridge. You'll also have the option to add squadrons, and I think maybe another armor or shield, something like that, to the fleet bay. The factory also gets it. I don't have the notes right in front of me, but there's a lot more stuff that you can add to a lot of these to make it more competitive with the Xeno fleets. I think that's great. But yeah, it's honestly, all in all, I was not looking forward to this update from the day before or yesterday when I first saw it. I read through it and I was blah about it. I really didn't like it at all. Now I'm actually enjoying this. I think I'm really going to like this update. I think it was needed. I think that it's not nearly as bad as it feels. A lot of us are running infernal weapons lower level than they probably should be. We all know that nothing below level 55 really is going to does nearly as much damage as an Infernal Gatling Ray or an Infernal Wave Driver. Damocles, for example, which were really starting to get annoying. There were a lot of them. I hadn't even built one. I don't run fleets like that. I'm not that kind of player. But I know a lot of people that do and that are really good with them and do crazy things that you couldn't even think of doing yourself, which is cool. It is cool, but I don't like fleet versus fleet destroyers. I have some lances. I don't use them. That's just how I am. I like to fly and actually beat people with skill. But yeah, so we shouldn't be seeing too many of those anymore. I think they almost tripled the experience value, something crazy. It went from like 4,000 to like 14,000 experience per level 3, and then they added like, I don't know, like 7,000 experience points to a level 1, which just nerfs it completely beyond usefulness anyways at that point. But yeah, so I'm sure there will still be people that find workarounds. It's going to be interesting to see how they go in the future. Maybe dropping a cruiser escort, who knows? But even still, those 4 wave drivers on 1 Damocles is worth more than a single cruiser escort running whatever the hell you want on it. So that's kind of an interesting little prospect. Also, we have Decimation starting here in the next 20 minutes, so it's perfect timing for me to release a video on both of these things, the update and Decimation. Just to finish up the update, like I said, I like the update. I had a little bit of remorse the first half hour or so of me thinking through it. Then when I realized that, hey, it's not all bad, not everything increased, just everything that you're currently using. So Kickside did a good job of looking at me and going, oh, what's Rab using right now? Let's make him refit all of his ships because he'll probably coin them. And they're right. I'm gonna recoin the refits, but not because I need them right now, just because they are. Honestly, the refits that I'm coining, they're way less than it took me to coin the refits that I'm using, or even build the fleets that I'm using. I'm really not refitting a whole lot just to make, you know, these couple fleets that I have here useful. And this one still is useful, you know. And who's really going to use Gargoyles for anything anyways? They're just kind of outdated at this point. Anyways, so moving into Decimation, all right. Same stuff, different day. I actually like the Decimation events more than I like any of the other events that they've had lately. One thing that I really hope that Kickside leaves, it was in the notes, basically it stated that you no longer have to claim every piece of tech in order to claim the res payout at the end. If you guys ever finished or came close to finishing, you had millions of points left over at the end of an event, and you tried to get the, you know, exchange it, it made you collect all this stuff that you didn't want. And when you did that, that's how a lot of us have workshops that look like this. Just loads of crap that we don't want, right? And not all of it came from there, but some of it did. Well, now, according to the update notes that were put out yesterday, I haven't looked at the revised ones yet, but it did state in there that they are changing that so that now you no longer have to claim all the tech in order to claim resources at the end of the event. So if you don't want 30 heavy rupture beams, you don't have to get 30 heavy rupture beams to get 2 million, you know, points worth of resources at the end, which for a lot of people is good because this is me and this is fighting to maintain above that, and mineral ore is about to be in a hot commodity. We've had this massive deficit of easily attainable resources other than, you know, going on basing other people for them. Resources just haven't been as easy to get, especially since Fleet Bay 13 came around, since riots stopped coming around, because that was kind of our, you know, our go-to for resources. So hopefully that is in effect. I'm really hoping it's in effect. At any rate, like I said, same stuff, different day. So another chance to get these Annihilator Battleship Elite credits, Decimators, and you have a chance to get all the blueprints for said weapons, to include the Punisher as well. But here we also have the Damocles, which is funny because they just kind of nerfed this vessel, but I'm cool with that. I honestly still kind of plan on making an Infernal Wave Driver Damocles fleet just to play around with it and have it. You know, it's another tool to put in my pocket, and another fleet to go burn during a civil war. So if I'm not into coining, I just like having a lot of fleets to just go out and burn. That way I don't have to. So yeah, I'm probably going to get that, and I'm going to mark it up, and I'm going to build it and fit it, and I'm going to have fun with that. So, and then you also have the Legion. So I don't think this Legion took off nearly as well as they thought it would. The first ship X, quote unquote, if you will, class of ship. No special slot, a lot of armor, a lot of shields, very little weapons, and a squadron slot that you can't fit a swarm squadron into. So what I see when I look at this is loads of repair time for very little damage done. Yes, it does have the battleship. Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't even have a battleship, at least not according to here. But the range arc bonus, it just has a weapon mass reduction. This is like, what are all the bad things that we can take and put them all in just one ship. Oh, let's do a crap load of repair time and no damage output possible because you don't have anything to speed you up and catch something. Kixeye even knows that. They even stated, like last year or around the time of the Great Rebalance, that literally there's two things in the game right now, and this is still current today, that really impact how you play, and that is speed and range. If you don't have the range, you have the speed. If you don't have the speed, you have the range. Look at destroyers, look at battleships. They're not fast. You can catch them, but they have range, right? They're catchable, but you have range. Look at cutters, look at cruisers, look at frigates. They are fast to different varying degrees. Cruisers have the tank, and it mixes with the speed. Cutters have that speed. Frigates definitely have that speed, especially when they're marked up to catch you and do damage. This has neither of those. It has no speed, and it has no range. It has one squadron, which we can take out the first volley of damage that's going to come in on it. Literally, the only way you're going to cause damage on this is just sitting there and having, I don't even know what, I don't know. I never tried to use the Legion. You know what? I'm probably going to get them just so that I have them. Screw it. Maybe they'll change it someday. Who knows? That's a good rule in Vega Conflict, by the way. If you don't have it, get it because it might be good tomorrow. At which point you'll either have to build it, refit it, whatever. But this current update that we just had is a good example of that, right? Be ready to refit it tomorrow because you never know what they're going to do to it. So again, I think the Enel Talonite armor is awesome. I use it on my Punishers. I use a mix of both armors actually, Enel and what do they call the other one? XL, EXAL, and ENAL. So Anal and Exal, who knows? But yeah, I use a mix of those. Level 2. You can fit a lot of armor on a Punisher. I don't really fit a lot of armor. I fit enough armor is what I like to do. It's a good rule of thumb. Because look at these bonuses, man. 50% to energy, 40 more percent to alien resist. If you have Mark 6, you already have like 60% anyways. So that's like what, like coming close to 80, at least 70. I mean, hell, even 65 is better than nothing. So yeah. Again, pattern boxes. I like pattern boxes. I don't currently need these, but I'll probably get them just out of principle because I'm about to get a lot of Damocles. But yeah, and then the Hellfires. I always get Hellfires. Currently, I am actually looking at refitting my Basilisks, so they aren't Mark 5 yet. I might make them that way, so I'll probably get that. This is a good chance to get some crafting stuff, Mark 5 or Tier 5 crafting stuff. And then at the end, of course, the resources, which the payouts don't look like they've changed one bit. So you still got your 26 million for the level 3 helium and mineral, and then you have 10 million. Is that right? Yeah, 10.5 million for antimatter. So I'll probably get these just because I'm lame and I'm running out of resources up here. But yeah, regardless, I hope you guys have a good event. I hope you guys adjust to this update. Do not let this update destroy you like it almost did me. I promise you it's not nearly as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. They just have yet to see through it because, like I said, if you're using Infernal Weapons, if you're using Reverb Ray, if you're using Nova Ray, and as I'm clicking through these, you might be able to guess what's on these. Even here, this is Nova Ray. Yeah, you are probably going to feel it. But guess what? That's because that's what everyone was using. So Kixeye realized how effective it was for the experience points that it had and nerfed it. And I felt like that was justified. I do feel like Nova Ray was way up there. Even level 1 Nova Ray did just as much DPS as Aurora 3. So why is a level 1 Nova Ray and Aurora 3 comparable as such, being a level 1 versus, you know. So Kixeye, I think what they did was justified. I really do. Just do not let this update defeat you. Vega Conflict is still a good game, despite what we all want to think about it and how we feel. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think you should either. I hope you guys have a good event, and I will see you guys on the other side. Sorry I haven't been putting out videos as much as I was before. I got a little carried away in real life. Didn't have a chance to, and then we were kind of static for a week, so I really didn't have anything to throw out there. And I'm not just going to talk like I'm doing right now in this particular video. So yeah, have a good event. I'll see you guys maybe later this weekend.